Alright, I didn't intentionally have a plan to bring you guys along on this journey, but today we're going to be swapping over this truck air compressor to Kwik connects. Now I will say this doesn't work in every community because they tend to go missing, but in this case, one of the benefits of having a Kwik connect on these particular air compressors is that we're able to change that air hose without having to unthread and rethread and do all of those steps, which makes it very approachable for the store to do without having to break out a wrench. So that's going to be our first step. We're going to rebuild the chuck because we're here and the chuck costs nothing to rebuild. And then on top of that, if I can remember, I'm going to shoot two parts of this. We're going to change, so you can see this one is set to start at 35. We're going to change the setting on this to switch to 70 as the starting pressure, if I can find the documentation and remember how to do it. So it'll both be in this video, and then I'll do a tech tip, more of a short version of how to do that for those who run into this issue. It isn't hard, it's just figuring out what you need to do to get into the programming. So, let's get started. Oh, well, we did. Hey, we got the hose off. Not always possible. You'll see the remainder of a little bit of red Loctite. That typically is when you're going to have some struggles. But this one came off, so yeah, this should be a little bit easier. I'll get you guys set up. We'll get this guy open, we'll get it unplugged, and get this thing get serviced. Alright, so I did cut my power first, and then I went down and unplugged. Realistically, once you unplug, you're fine, but I always just like having control over that breaker. It's just nicer to have it that way. So, we need to swap this guy out with a Kwik connect. Now, I did notice that you might end up with a little bit more back pressure on that, so just something to keep in mind if you're doing this. If you notice you're having issues, just make sure to switch it back if you need to. But I typically don't have too many problems. So in here, there is basically, we'll unthread this and you'll kind of see what we're working with. All right, so 5/8 and 11/16. And this is also why having it unplugged and disconnected is important, because if you drop that wrench and it hits something, then you get to create a nice little arky sparky, and then you got problems. All right. And that's what we have on the other side. So just little female connection that's Oetiker clamped on, so not too bad to deal with. Let's get some tape and get some parts. For the hose, so female to male Kwik connect. For the actual machine, we're a female Kwik connect to male thread it, and then male thread to go in. But there's an extra part. I will go grab that off the truck. We need some washers. Space that out a little bit. So on our trucks, we should have item code 711952. It's a nice big washer. Nice. We just got some stuff in here that needs to not be in there. Much better. And the reason I put so many washers is we tend to have, if you want to call it, just because of the depth of the female side of this connector, you just need a few more. So the issue we're going to run into here is we're going to have to do quite a bit of twisting. So you want to get on the back side of this too, because if you don't, then you're going to turn and twist. Ooh. Significantly in the future, Andre here. I didn't complete a single thought in that. What we're actually doing here is using 3 washers, 2 on the back side because the male threaded portion and the female threaded portions are 2 different lengths. And if you don't use that, you'll bottom out too early and it doesn't seal. The one on the outside is so that the actual Kwik Connect works. Otherwise, it'll be right up against the stainless and it's really hard for the store to actually use it. And then the reason you put a wrench on the backside, although should have finished the thought, is actually because if you spin that in and just like spin all day, he'll actually turn the hose up in knots and it'll be a giant mess you'll have to deal with. All right, back to the video. Whoops. And of course I never do this in summer. Why would I do that in summer? Way more fun to do it in winter. Oh my goodness, my poor fingies. It's almost too cold to do this. I thought it was going to be warm enough, but once you get in the shade, it got a little cold. Alright, let's get a truck rebuild kit. I think literally every time I turn the camera on, there is a truck idling next to me. I apologize. Perfect. Quick, mediumly painful, or painless, I should say. Mediumly painless. This thing wasn't in too bad of shape, but doesn't hurt to change it. It's like a couple bucks and we're out of the way. All right, so as we're looking at this completed project, you're gonna see our Kwik Connect is all done, which means we get to program this. So this technically be a Tech Tip Thursday, but we're gonna add it onto a Monday video. So today we are taking and we're gonna trip these out. Why are we doing this? Well, currently the unit is a truck stop air compressor at 35 PSI. 35 PSI ain't gonna fly for a truck. So we're gonna switch this to 70 and raise the maximum up, which this compressor actually is made for and can handle. So first thing we need to do is we need to trip out our coin acceptor. So that's what that orange and yellow wire are. It goes to a point on the board. So if this doesn't work, first of all, check your whatever you're using to trip it. That sometimes might have fallen out. But the other side is sometimes the points are not correct on the board, or it's not even plugged in because we never use those wires. So maybe somebody put a new board in here and didn't realize they needed to plug that in. Then we're going to turn this unit on. So I currently have it on. So we're shorted out. And then I will turn the unit on and I will walk you through the steps on how to reprogram this. So I will get you guys set up in front. There you go. You should have a nice clear view of what we got going on. And I will walk you through. And it's really just 3 little steps that we'll have to do. But first we got to get logged into the machine. So we're watching, and we're watching our numbers. So we're gonna get to 9999. Great. Plus, minus. PRTR. We're gonna pull out our paper clip. We're gonna hit I. We're gonna quickly hit plus, minus, and now it should take us in to advanced. We're gonna hit I until we come to HFLO for high flow. So we're gonna just kind of go through these, and my rule of thumb when I'm watching this is you're gonna keep going through all these and you're watching for a bunch of airs. So basically you're watching for air 7, air 9, and air 10. So we're just kind of going through these. Most of these are not gonna be anything you want to change or touch, and I'll let you know as we're going. You should see air 7, air 10, and then we're gonna see air 9, HFLO. We are gonna switch to yes. The next thing is current air. So next we're gonna keep going through all of the settings that basically say it's PSI. So yeah, we're gonna keep it PSI. We're not changing it to something different. And we are working our way through to DE. DE is our first pressure, which is going to be 35, which is going to display right away. We're going to switch him to 70. We're going to hit I to save that. The next one is our highest up, or our high point, so that's 80. That's definitely not high enough. I'm going to bring it to 120. I can't remember what we normally set these at, but 120 gets us probably where we need to be. Next one is our low point. We're going to leave that at 4. That's fine. It'll be okay. And then we'll hit that. And once we're through all of those, we just hit flat tire and hit end. So once it's set end, we can just shut the machine off. And give it a second. And then we're going to turn the machine back on. And now on boot up, it should be defaulted to 70 PSI. And there we go, 70 PSI. All right, so hopefully that helps you out. I know that's a couple little things, but this is sometimes the stuff we gotta do out in the field. Machine gets installed and, you know, a board gets put in it or something happens where it just didn't get the right settings done, and you can find yourself taking care of this pretty quickly. Try not to do it in February. I can tell you that that's not the most comfortable time to do something, but now we're ready to go on this machine. I'm gonna get it all packaged up and ready to go. You guys don't need to watch that. I'm sure you have something else to watch. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next time.